members of our Congress, you will always have within our government those that are above the law. Hey, it's me. And as you may have heard, Choco and the Sasquatch are producing an anti-Trump movie. And that is because Susan Rice sits on the board of Netflix. And then afterwards, the Obamas got a big deal worth many millions of dollars with Netflix to produce movies. And at the time, I remember Choco and the Sasquatch saying, "Don't worry, it's not going to be political. It's just going to be about life." But no. First chance they get, they buy the rights of an anti-Trump book. And it's one of those books almost no one read, but it's fake news. Like, Trump is messing everything up. He doesn't know what he's doing. And Choco and the Sasquatch saw their opportunity, right? Now they can really have revenge. It's revenge of the Kenyan nerd and the angry Sasquatch. They're going to make a movie, just like Michael Moore. They're going to make a movie. And just like Alec Baldwin, he's going to pretend to be Trump on SNL. And these people are so retarded. They think everything revolves around some image, movie, and it's so pathetic. And Choco is really proving that he wasn't fit to be president. And when he was president, he didn't act like a president. And he was in way over his little head. And he didn't know what he was doing. And after he was evicted from the White House, he also doesn't act like an ex-president. He's still a buffoon, like he was before he became president. We're talking about a guy with no class. He was raised in a barn, you could say, or a hut, or a Jakarta whorehouse in Indonesia, and his mom being one of the whores there. And she was very popular because she was the only white woman in the brothel, right? Anyway, so Choco is having his revenge. But you notice how Choco's such a coward? You know, he can go up there and make a speech and he's losing his voice and he's sweating and he's nervous. And he's talking about Trump and what a failure he is. And you can tell there's a lot of jealousy. And also that Choco's being exposed. Every single day that Trump is doing anything, it's a trillion times better than Choco. And he's showing the world that Choco was a fake president and completely incompetent. But we knew that, but by contrast, you can really see it. This is scientific proof. And so Choco doesn't like it. So he's going to make a movie to set the record straight. And of course it's going to be all fake news. But you notice how liberals always rely on propaganda? Reality is something they cannot deal with. Because reality is never on their side. They just look like a bunch of psychos and incompetent nerds. Or complete idiots and retards. And so they have to paint pictures. They have to make movies. And when I say paint pictures, I'm talking about that Canadian guy, Jim Carrey. You know, that guy used to be funny, but, you know, he has a problem with depression. He almost killed himself, and I guess his way to cope is to hate on Trump and Republicans or the NRA, and he's doing paintings. And you have to see it for what it is. A deeply disturbed individual and an Eskimo Canadian. And many of these celebrities have problems, be it drugs or something else, and they're taking it out on Trump. And it's pretty sad. I mean, that is sad, but I don't care about these people. I don't even care about Choco and a Sasquatch making a movie on Netflix. Who cares, right? It's like Michael Moore. And it just proves that Choco was never a statesman. He didn't even become wise or experienced. He doesn't have any gravitas. And he has no brain. Just a lot of hate, envy. And what is it with this guy? He's a real sociopath or a psychopath. This guy, I'm guessing he was molested when he was a kid or beaten up every day. in school. I mean, something happened to that guy that is so traumatic that he's like this hateful nerd, always looking for revenge, but too cowardly to face his enemy in the face. He's like behind the scenes, right? Ooh, I'm making a movie. Ooh, I'm spying on this person. I'm spying on that person. And it's like a skinny Kenyan Dr. Evil who doesn't know what the hell he's doing, right? Not a mastermind at all. Choco's a doofus. A Kenyan buffoon. But you know Valerie Jarrett, the Iranian gargoyle. Yeah, because she's Iranian, in case you didn't know. She's like pulling the strings of Choco and the Sasquatch and playing on their racism. And she's probably ginning them up, going, you know, these people, they really need to hear from you. You should really make a movie exposing Trump. And Choco's like, oh, okay. I okay, Valerie, my pee-pee hurts. Can you put a cream on it or something? And the Sasquatch, like, you know, it's feeding time, and Valerie Jarrett has to throw her chunks of meat. Or, what is it, those meerkats? Yeah, they have a little meerkat farm at the Choco estate, and they're breeding meerkats. And they're so cute and adorable, right? The way they're sitting up and looking around. But they're just food for the Sasquatch. And, you know, she goes through a lot of meerkats every day. You know, the first bite is to rip their heads off, and then the rest she eats it like a big drumstick, right? Taking a bite out of the ass of a lemming. They should make a documentary about that for National Geographic or Animal Planet, right? The Sasquatch eats meerkats Thursdays at 9 p.m. But Choco is really an embarrassment. You know, if you look at this guy, it's like he doesn't even understand. Trust me, he doesn't even understand that he's making a fool out of himself. It's so similar to the hunchback of Chappaqua, Hillary Clinton. She doesn't know how disgusting she looks, how people can't stand her voice and her cackle, and she thinks she's pretty. You know, it's like Who Killed Baby Jane, right? It's like, I'm still pretty. That's Hillary Clinton. It scares the hell out of me. I mean, she's so evil, and she must look in the mirror and go, oh my God, I'm so pretty. But no. And Choco's the same. He thinks like, you know, his number 2 doesn't smell. It's made of gold. He has golden stools. He defecates gold. He's like the Kenyan golden boy that lays the golden stools. And Valerie Jarrett collects them and stacks them, and little pyramids of cylindrical Kenyan Choco stools made of gold, right? It's like Fort Knox, except we're talking about mountains of shit. Okay, anyway, I digress. But of course, this Netflix operation is also having problems, financially speaking, that is. And you can tell, you know, that you put somebody like Susan Rice on the board of your company. I mean, what are you doing? It's all about politics, and it's going to be left-wing. To be honest, President Trump can take out Choco so fast his Kenyan head will spin on his skinny Kenyan neck, and he can take out Hillary Clinton anytime. He just has to give the direct order to the DOJ. And he knows that. But you also have to understand that Choco and Hillary have no power. They're spent forces. And they themselves are idiots. Now, Bill Clinton and Valerie Jarrett and that whole system, there's something there, but individually, Choco and Hillary are nothing. They have no gravitas, they have no wisdom, and they have no power. And yet they crave to have power again, but it's never going to come back. And they're making fools out of themselves, the both of them. And it's hilarious. I think Trump really kicks on it. I know I do. I find it hilarious. And for President Trump to know that he can take out these two buffoons, like right away if he wants, I mean, that thought is enough to leave them walking around, and it's so pitiful and pathetic. Every time they talk, they step into it, and they make fools out of themselves. It's kind of fun to watch. I really think that President Trump enjoys it. And at the same time, maybe he will do something more hardcore in the near future, because Hillary really needs to do time in jail. And Choco, I don't know, he's an ex-president, but to have Choco at a hearing in Congress, I mean, that would be so humiliating. I mean, he'd be sitting there, and it's true, Democrats would be like, so, Mr. President, even though you were one of our best presidents in U.S. history, let me ask you something. Why are you so cool? I mean, it would be like that the whole time if Dems are asking him questions, but then it's a turn of, the Trump at GOP, and you're going to have some hardcore people there, and who knows, maybe one of the senators will be like, hey, Choco, hey, Choco, were you involved, yes or no? Choco, look at me when I'm talking. And he'll be like stuttering and all that. It would be hilarious. For Choco, that would be worse than jail. Like after the hearing, he would just straight up hang himself somewhere. But I digress again. And the truth is that, Choco needs to answer for Spygate. And Hillary has to answer for a lot of things. In fact, Choco also has to answer for many things. But my guess is it's best just to pick, something sweet that will really stick, and then just go with that. And it will happen, I believe, in the future. Choco, I'm not so sure, because he's an ex-president. It's the only reason. But Hillary, I'm sure